Welcome back, I'm Charlotte and I help women to lead and create and prosper in alignment with their energy and their soul. So let's get into these principles. The first principle is putting your own oxygen mask on first. When I started to realize that my morning meditation or other spiritual practice plus physical movement were the most important thing in the entire day, everything changed. Now that doesn't mean that I don't care about my business and I don't put a huge amount of energy into that during the day. I do. But when I see those practices as the thing that I care about the most and the thing that I want to invest my time in because they are nourishing and healing, not just because they help with productivity, but they do, it sets me up for success, and not just success on a day-to-day, but the sustainable kind of success that lasts when you realize your business, your capacity to earn money is one part of you. It is not the be-all and end-all. And the narratives and the conditioning that we have to be producing and busy and doing all the time, they are not helpful for your soul. They're not even helpful for your business. Don't get me wrong, I love working, I love mastery. I'll talk about that later. But it's surprising how many people feel they don't have time or they can't sit and do the practices that they love to set up their day. But you can. You have to make it a priority. And don't should this. You know, you've probably heard a million times, do your meditation in the morning. But you can't make it sustainable if it's coming from that should place. I do it because I love it. I really enjoy it. I just find it to be wonderful. And I've given myself permission to have that luxury time. I don't see it as less important than being productive. So find what works for you. It's really, really important that you don't be rigid with it and you don't punish yourself if you fall off the wagon. You know, it might be that you love to go for a walk and chant. It might be that you love yoga and meditation. It might be that you love to sing your singing bowls first thing in the morning. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a fixed thing. It's just something that connects you to yourself and connects you to source, which is understood to be vital for its own sake. Then let the ways in which it makes you more productive do their thing as well. So my personal routine at the moment is to get up. I do get up quite early and usually it's dark, and I sit for maybe 25 or 30 minutes in meditation, and then I go into my movement. At the moment, I'm going to the gym in the mornings because it's really making me feel strong and energized. But I've done lots of different kinds of configurations, and I do not pressure myself to make sure it's exactly the same every single day. So for example, today when I woke up, I felt this really strong urge to move my body straight away. So today I actually went to the gym first, then I came back, I did some delivery for clients just for 20 minutes or so, and then I went into a meditation, and it happened to be a singing meditation where I sat and I listened to some incredibly beautiful music and I chanted. And that's what prepared me energetically to make this video. The second principle is to allow silence. You can't receive the inner wisdom and guidance that I assume you would like to have in your life or your business if you are constantly taking in information. The scrolling, the constant podcasts, the constant attempts to be learning new information are not going to help you if you want to be able to integrate what it is that you're learning, and if you want to be able to hear the sound of your own ideas, your own creativity, your own IP, your own thought leadership. Those require space and time. So the particular method that has helped me the most to allow this has been a two-step process. The first step is removing my phone from the bedroom at night. I do not have my phone physically in the room when I am sleeping. I plug it in a different room, and I make sure that it is not subconsciously triggering me to be on, to be alert, to be, ready to receive information. And I certainly do not scroll first thing before I go to bed. It has been an absolute game changer for me. It means I sleep better. It means that I am rested and restored on a deeper level. My brain cells feel like they get to sleep as well, rather than that sleep where you're just kind of half processing and half sleeping. So that's been huge. The kind of step 2 level is to also physically turn my phone off from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Now, I don't always do this, but on quite a regular basis I do, and I call it intermittent phone fasting, when the device is physically off from 8 till 8. So that means that I might well be up and about for a couple of hours before it gets turned on, doing my exercise, doing my practices. And for example, if I go for a walk, it means that the phone is not on to be listening to something as I go. And again, this is space where I receive a lot of downloads, I receive a lot of insight, things become clear in a way that was not possible when I never gave myself that space. We can also introduce a huge amount of spaciousness and silence by paying attention to the little gaps within the day. This can actually be woven into your life. And another thing that I've done to help with this is really be mindful of exactly what I do when I finish one call and move to the next. Because what I used to do was I would finish a call, it could have been a client, coaching session, it could be meeting or whatever. And as soon as that Zoom call finishes, I would pick up my phone with no breath, with no moment to process the fact that that meeting has now concluded and I now have a gap. When you start to allow some of the gaps in your day to actually be gaps, to breathe, to contemplate, to not pick up the phone, to not scroll, dare I say, to stop taking your phone to the loo and scrolling even on the loo, just let your body do its natural process and feel that, you will create more space for all of the magic to come forward in your life. It's so powerful. The third principle is to prioritize inner fun. When I discovered my Gene Keys profile, the thing that changed my life in an instant was the sentence, "Your purpose is no single thing and nothing you do in life. Your purpose is to do with how much inner fun you're having when you're doing whatever you're doing." I was speechless. It changed my reality because I'd always believed that my purpose was to do with the kind of work or job I was trying to figure out. My purpose was to be a crystal healer. My purpose was to be an activist. My purpose was to be a coach. My purpose, this or that. And this turn inwards was such a relief. And I started to realize, my ability to breathe something of my essence into other people's lives, which is also talked about in my profile, is about the sense of aliveness that I can access within myself when I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, now fun can be a bit of a triggering word sometimes. We can think, oh God, but I'm just not fun. I don't feel happy and joyful all the time. But there's a difference between fun that gets expressed as a bubbly personality, in the realm of emotion, and fun that gets expressed as that inner aliveness. That's how I see it. Then there's no pressure to be, super cheerful and optimistic and sunny all the time. It's not about that. It's like, ooh, do I feel in this moment that there is a way in which I can access aliveness? And the kind of mechanism for checking in on this that I like is to ask myself, could I just have 5% more fun right now in this moment? As I'm recording the video, can I have 5% more fun? And all sorts of things might come to me about like moving my foot, which is getting a bit of pins and needles, or just relaxing and breathing and imagining how much of a difference it might make for somebody to hear one of these principles, whatever it is, and drop into that question, and then the energy again shifts. So I have found this to be profoundly helpful, not only because I can actually enjoy moment-to-moment experiences more, but also because it took off the pressure of needing to find my purpose in something external and look within and find it there, and then all of the things I do externally are better anyway, they are more impactful anyway, and it's so much more of a rich, delicious, fun journey without that additional pressure. The fourth principle is to live by your unique design. I've been starting to deepen my studies and my work with human design and the gene keys, and it is giving me such deep and profound transformation. I can barely articulate it. But one of the biggest differences studying my human design has been to realize that I am not supposed to be like anybody else. I'm supposed to be like me. And my favorite teaching from Jeffrey Allen, an amazing energy healer, is that when you see people who you really admire, who you would like to emulate, you wish you could be more like them. What you're usually responding to is the fact that they are being themselves fully. So to be more like them, you actually just have to be more like you. And again, this provided me with a deep sense of relief that I don't have to change myself or fit into a mold that doesn't feel right. I just have to find my own unique frequency. So powerful. And human design really teaches you that, because you literally, and the gene keys, you literally start to see that there is this blueprint that you are unfolding as you move through this life. So, when you understand your unique design, when you stop feeling like you should be like other people, when you start to manage your energy in a way that's right for you, when you start to look at your life and stop making your traits wrong, life is just very different. And I'm so intrigued by this work. That's why I'm bringing it into my coaching. That's why I'm doing 2-year-long programs right now to really go deep and make sure that I'm diving into the juice of this and bringing it into all of the containers that I create for you and people who I work with. So if you would like to understand your human design a bit more, if you'd like to start exploring your unique blueprint, then click the link below, because I offer a prosperity pivot call, which is a very powerful 60-minute experience where we look at your life. We look at where you're feeling a bit blocked, we look at where you want to go, and I am introducing a human design element. So if you're curious about that, I'll ask for your birth data and we'll look at really and truly what is unique about you and how can we start to unlock your genius in a way that feels really, really good. The fifth principle I live by is to welcome the hard, but not the hustle. I think there has been so much demonizing of the idea of work in the manifestation community. It's like we can just raise our vibration enough and be in a high enough frequency, and then things are going to just start to kind of like materialize in our lives. And I just don't believe that to be true. And I think when we hold that belief, we can often feel very disappointed or feel like we're doing it wrong when things don't just magically appear as we wish for them to be. I personally think that there is deep value and joy and pleasure in hard things. Goodness me, this human experience is hard in and of itself, right? It's not easy to be human. It's certainly not easy to create, run, scale business. It's not even easy to start speaking your truth. It's not easy to create a YouTube channel and make content. None of it's easy. It's hard, but it's hard in a delightful way if you let it be that. It's a very different energy from the hustle energy of constantly doing, grabbing, productivity rules. No. I believe there can be an easeful way to move through hard things that actually gets you where you want to be, gets you the results you want to have, without, bypassing the fact that things are challenging for a start, and without also getting into the cycle of burnout and, exhaustion that we can find ourselves in if we don't find the sweet spot between seeking mastery and running ourselves into the ground. So I welcome hard things. And when it does feel hard, I often think back to the David Hawkins scale of consciousness, right, where he assigns a sort of vibrational frequency to all the emotions. Like right at the bottom is fear and shame, and right at the top is this universal consciousness of love. The frequency that represents the tipping point is courage. When you can get to the frequency of courage, you tip into the higher vibrations. And I try to remember that when things feel hard, take courage, have a courageous heart, feel the fire in my belly, and know that I can do it. It will be okay, And that helps me welcome hard things in and, treasure that feeling of the ache of creativity that can be so difficult to navigate, but which gives such potent rewards if you can sit with it and go through it. So I hope that's been helpful. Let me know which of these 5 resonated the most with you in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.